Good morning, guys. Hello, and welcome to your market report for this Thursday, the 25th of October, 2018. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting the charts ready here. A bit stubborn opening them. Okay. Let's open them up right here. Okay. Now, what we got is, first thing we're going to take a look at today, I'm having a little bit of trouble with these charts, is Bitstamp and Bitcoin price of 64.0747, and we just see it going along its merry way. It's been this price for a long time now. It's just kind of steadily going along merrily like that. Now, let's take a look at the, I should be on different, yeah, here we are. I'm not clicked on the Dow. Let's click on the Dow here. Take a look at the Dow. 24,709 today. We're getting a little bounce, and this is because we knocked down the bond rates. We knocked down the bond rates. We bought so many bonds, the money was moving almost directly out of the stock market into bonds. That's where the money was going. The money is all going into bonds. And this is because they can move money quick into bonds, for one thing, and it's considered to be the most safe haven of the safe haven assets. That's what it's considered to be. I think they're about as good as used toilet paper. That's how good they're going to be. That's how good they're going to be for a little while there. They're going to go down so bad. You know? But here's the thing. That's where the money's going. And it's knocking the bond yields down. And what's happening is then what happens is then the stock market starts to rebound a little bit. And the bond yields start to creep back up again. So that's the process we're at right now. And each consecutive time this happens now at this point, see, this market's not lifting off anymore. If you go back all the way back here to January, when we had that fall in January, and what's happened is the market did have a little climb here, but that was a little bit of the liquidity was still sloshing around in the system. That's pretty much gone now. And so what's happened is the market is going along here at roughly almost a stable place along here. It's the same point. The market's the same point right now it was way back in February of this year. Hasn't went anywhere. It went up, but it's come back down again. And it's not going to go anywhere because the liquidity's drying up, because of what the Fed's doing. This market's not going anywhere until it crashes. And it's all hinging on that U.S. 10-year. The mark is 3.25, but now I know I said the mark is 3.25, and I know it did go up and touch 3.25, just touched it briefly, but that doesn't really matter because it just went up and touched it. It wasn't really, what I'm talking about 3.25 is when it pierces through 3.25 and keeps on going up into the danger zone. Maybe 3.4 or 3.6 or something like that. It gets up into that danger zone. That's when the market's going to crash. And right now, it's knocked the sales out of that U.S. 10-year, and it's back down to, well, let's take a look. Let's go bonds and rates here and take a look. The U.S. 10-year right now is 3.12, and it's rising again. That's because the market is done. The route in the market's almost done for now. For now. But it's not going anywhere. The market's not going anywhere. That's done. It's not going anywhere. And so even though it might settle back down, the market, and what they call volatility, which is really nothing to do with volatility, it's got everything to do with the market's on its way to hell. They just can't see it yet. Because there's so many permabulls out there screaming that the market's going to the heavens that they can't see that the market's on its way down. It's not going anywhere right now. So what's happening is eventually when this bond yield on the 10-year gets up and it starts to push up, heading toward 4%, that's when we're really going to see some action in the market, downwards action. and then they're going to really start to get scared. And when they really start to get scared, that's when they're going to start to buy gold and silver. But small at first, slow at first. The first step for silver is going to be when it goes back up to $22. When they get scared, they're going to get the price back up. And then the sentiment, when that happens, the sentiment's going to flip from what it is right now. So right now you can buy it for 14 and change. When it starts to hit $22 again, the sentiment's going to be altogether different than it is right now. Like you know, these guys out there that the coin shops and stuff. If they buy your silver now, they're like, oh, I don't know, I might give you 10 cents under spot or something. They're not really hungry. They're not hungry for it. I'm going to tell you what. They're going to be so hungry to get it when that sentiment changes, and the price is going to be a lot higher than it is now. And they're going to be really hungry. They're going to be like, oh, they don't care what type of silver you got as long as it's silver. That's how they're going to be. They're going to be hungry for it because it's going to be moving out the door. It's going to be a short period like that, but then later after that's over, now that's not going to last real long. After that's over and the price is even higher, then it's all going to disappear. Silver's all going to disappear. You're not going to be able to buy it. That's what's going to happen. Then you're going to see the real big prices increases. Boys, if you're not in, you're going to be one sad puppy. Anyway, I got talking about silver. Anyway, we see a little rebound in these bonds right now, and that's because the market this little wave is coming to a close of what they call volatility. Okay, so anyway, let's move on here, and we've taken a look at the Dow. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency this morning. Cryptocurrency's 209 billion, right? 53.7% Bitcoin dominance, and it really hasn't went too much of anywhere over the last few days. It's getting to be an awful boring market, but it's holding its own. It's holding its own, and it will go someplace someday. I can't tell you. I wish I could tell you guys exactly when this stuff's going to take off. But what I can tell you is it's going to take off. That should be enough. It's going to take off one of these days. And we're not talking in like 30 years from now. We're not even talking 10 years from now. We're not even talking 5 years from now. So the HODL people out there, big winners. They're already big winners as long as they're really, really stubborn. And they do not let go of their purse for anything, then they're already winners. And the silver price today. Silver price, we see this dropping a little bit, and that's because the U.S. dollar index is going up. We're looking at a price of $14.61, down 4 cents today. Let's take a look at gold real quick here. Gold dropping a little bit too. Dropped $2.80 down to $12.30. $12.30 is your bid. Now, what we're going to take a look at is the U.S. dollar index. Now, the U.S. dollar index, see, is shooting up, and now take a look at her shooting up, and take a look at the silver price and gold price dropping just a little bit, and that's because the dollar index. That's the way it's supposed to function. Dollar goes up, gold goes down. Gold goes up, dollar goes down. They're an inverse. The same thing with oil. Oil has an inverse relationship to the dollar. So the dollar is going to be riding high. If you can get oil prices back down to $29 or something, the dollar would be riding really high. Well, that's the way it works, see? Because, simply put, the dollar's pegged to oil. And the dollar's only worth the amount of oil you can buy with it. So if the price of a barrel of oil is cheaper, the dollar means it buys more oil. If the price of a barrel of oil is higher, the dollar buys less oil. So it's as simple as that. It's a very simple formula. Very easy to understand. Now, let's take a look at oil prices today. $66.93. And they're up very, very, very slightly today. Oil prices are up. But they had a big fall. It's not what should have happened with the Saudi Arabia crisis that's going on right now. Oil prices fall, but that's only because the Saudis announced that they're going to increase production. which was a very good strategic move on their part, considering the things that happened. I'm going to tell you, they are very strategic. They are very strategic, and they've held power over the oil for a very long time. They still hold power over the oil. But the thing is I don't think they have as much oil as they say they have anymore. I think that what's happened is they originally had an accounting of their oil, and they're still going with that, but that counting was done a long, long time ago, and they've pumped a heck of a lot of oil out of the ground, but everybody acts like they still got as much as they had when they started pumping. That doesn't make any sense. If they've been pumping oil out of the ground for ages and ages, way back in the 70s when I was a kid, they were pumping it. I was just a little kid, and they were pumping the oil. They're still pumping it. You know? Anyway, okay, listen, this has been your market report for this morning. I got a good show coming up about Italy and how it's dragging the system down. I recorded it last night before I went to bed, and so we're going to put both programs on this morning. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys as my audience out there. And I think that we're all going to have to prepare for really hard times coming. Bye-bye, guys.